Hello, savvy listeners. I am excited you are taking the time to invest in yourself today. Savvy, the business podcast, will show you how your daily habits can create your own platform. Experts will share solutions and efficient tips to create a roadmap just for you. One thing that can make this happen: change your habits, change your success. Welcome to Savvy, the business podcast. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are on today with Mr. Jeff Heggie. Most of the time, y'all see me on Facebook, and we usually go Facebook Live. But today, we're going to do something a little different, and we want to, because of what I know that we're going to get from him this morning, I want to get with a bigger audience so you can enjoy and get a lot of the things that I know that is going to benefit you so much for your business, for the things that you're doing, and just to get started. So we're going to go ahead and get into it and start our conversation. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you so much for coming on Savvy the Business Podcast.
Yes, I really appreciate the invite. I thank you for inviting me to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we in business, there are so many things that go on with a business and where they're coming in about marketing, how to market, what we need to do. There's so many books out there, how to's, top 5, top 10, all of this stuff, right? So let's get a little bit about who you are and some of the things that you've done.
Absolutely, thanks. Yeah, I'm Jeff Heggie. I'm originally from Southern Alberta up in Canada. Right now I live in Gilbert, Arizona. Kind of tried to escape the winters, and it's really great. I've got quite a diverse background. My education was I majored in entrepreneurship. I was in the banking industry right out of school, but I also rodeoed professionally, and that's what I had a lot of my focus on. And but then I started a family and kind of got a little more serious about growing up and taking care of them. And so I was in the banking industry, and in 2005 I started a company called Kodiak Mountain Stone, which I still am the CEO and run. And that's a manufactured stone company that we're in both Canada and the US. And we sell manufactured stone, natural stone bricks, stuff like that to the home building industry for renovations, those sort of things. And then I also, just through the experience of that, I've spent a lot of time in the coaching industry, and it's something I always wanted to do. And my CFO at one point thought I should meet one of his clients, which was a business coach, and he introduced me to Brandon, and that's kind of when I started getting more serious about the coaching, and have kind of had a lot of different aspects in the coaching, from the personal development to different areas, but have started to focus more and more on working with people with their marketing and what they can do to increase their leads, increase their transactions, those sort of things. And working with a lot of clients who I really like to work with are the clients that small businesses that don't have a whole lot of money to invest in marketing and advertising, and finding those ways where they can really generate a lot more leads without increasing their spend on their marketing and advertising.
Okay. So with you getting into coaching, what made you go that directions instead of just, hosting workshops and things like that?
I almost said it as a joke a few times to my CFO, is just, as a business owner and entrepreneur, I've had a lot of my own mistakes or things that happen that I've been able to learn from. And I told him one time, I've messed up enough times, I could sure teach people what not to do. And um, as I gained more and more experience in being an entrepreneur, I started thinking about it more seriously, not just about the things I've made mistakes in, but also the things that I've done well. And then I started just, I had one guy that I worked with because we had made a change in our business, and we had sold off a part of our business. And the individual that bought it, I started working with him a little bit to help him make sure he got it launched properly and stuff, and realized I really liked it. And also back in when I was in the banking industry, that was something I really loved, is because I worked with a lot of entrepreneurs as clients, and I really enjoyed working with them and, helping them to identify opportunities and avoid obstacles and help them grow their businesses.
Okay. So, what are some of the things that you've seen working with people, coaching them, some of the mistakes that you've come across that you can share with others to say, I've been there, I've done this. These are some ways that I can help you jump over some of these, potholes, if you will, that I fell into, and help you prevent some of the issues, whether it was financially, business mistakes, or however that may have happened. What are some of the things that you can share that has happened and how you was able to come out of it and then just keep going and be able to build off of the mistake that you made?
Um, there's actually a number that come to mind, but one thing that I see over and over, in today's day and age, there's probably not many businesses that don't have a website. But what I find a lot is there's a lot of people that they get their website, they invest in making a great website when they start their business, and 5 years later they haven't even looked at their website in the last 5 years. And I think one of the mistakes that we often make is not really utilizing our online presence how we can, because if you really look at, for example, in my industry with Kodiak Mountain Stone, if I'm going to be looking to buy some stone for my house, if I'm doing a renovation, in today's day and age, that's probably the first place we go, is to the internet. But what often happens is people have a website, and even if they are able to get traffic onto their website, they're not maximizing what they can do with that traffic, because there is such a small percentage of customers that are the ready now buyers. And so out of that small percentage, the rest of them visit your website and then they might not ever visit again. And there's most websites you're going to see, they've got, your contact information, address, phone number, those sort of things, but they don't have it set up that they're really going to capture the information from those clients and be able to keep in contact with them, whether it's through a drip campaign or something else, that they can stay engaged with them so that when those people become now buyers, that they're still in the conversation. And I think there's a lot of times that we lose out because we don't have something set up where we're staying in contact with these people. And, if an example is, a lot of people will put something, call for a free consultation or something like that. And, customers know that's
Yeah.
a sales pitch. You're calling for a sales pitch. But there's so many opportunities that you can just offer some value, offer them, an information package, and that information package that can bring them value gives you the opportunity to stay in their orbit, rather than trying to give them a sales pitch right off the bat. So I think that's where a lot of businesses are lacking, is just utilizing their own websites to their full potential and keeping those clients within their environment.
Right. So, and I completely agree. So setting up like a drip campaign, so many may not even know what a drip is. So, on Savvy, we always like to, not assume everybody know everything. And for those that are getting started, not sure what questions to ask or how to ask. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. So for those that's getting started or maybe even been in business and they're thinking drip, what's a drip? So, let's tell them what that is, because that's very important.
Absolutely. So there's a number of ways you can do it. It can be done. The most common right now is obviously through email, but you can do it through a number of ways. But it's a system that you're going to continue to stay in contact with that customer. And I'll give you a couple examples. One example is a company that I worked with that was doing sunrooms, building sunrooms on houses as renovation projects and whatnot. And what they had done on their website is they offered an information package outlining the benefits of a sunroom, everything from increasing the value of your home to giving you somewhere to go that you can get out in the sun no matter what the weather is outside.
Mm-hmm.
And they created a brochure that outlined all these things, and so people could go on their website, get this brochure sent out to them for free. And then what they did after that, I think they had 7 different benefits outlined in that brochure. And then over the following months, they would send out this was in actually snail mail, they'd send out a physical postcard that talked specifically about each one of those benefits. So, the value it brings to your home. And then they would include, an offer, a discount or something like that.
Yeah.
And so the drip campaign was every other month that customer was getting a new postcard. Now, when you look at online, which is probably the most common right now, and a lot of people experience this, is they'll be on a website and they'll sign up for an offer to get something from the website, and then they start getting the emails from that website. So an example of that is, it could have been the same thing. Let's talk about the sunroom renovator.
Mm-hmm.
Is that could have been an online offer, and then every month or whatever it was, they would send out another email explaining some of those benefits and just kind of highlighting each of those benefits that was in the brochure one by one.
Okay. All right. So, but and everyone that's listening, you have to understand what your business is, whether it's a product or service, that your drip is going to be different from other people's drip. So it may not necessarily be a postcard. So it can be, coupons, it could be informational, it could be educational. It just depends on what your business is. So understand what that is, so you know what direction you need to go to set up your particular drip. And with your leads, let's get into that. It's important you have a lead as well to set up some type of workflow campaign or broadcasting campaign or something, so they can continuously get information from you to see if they're going to switch from a lead into an actual paying client. But we have to be careful with that, because we can, have these campaigns set up to where they're getting information once a month or every other month, or however you want to set it up. But we have to be careful and not send it too much information, because one, you're going to automatically get that unsubscribe, and that's going to kill it. And you just don't want to overpower them with a lot of stuff, because that's pretty much what it's going to end up being. So let's talk about leads and, setting up something like that just to keep them engaged. And because sometimes you could send 4 or 5 different campaigns to them before they actually say, you know what, I need to go ahead and hire this person.
Absolutely. And you're right on that too. It's a fine line of how often you're sending it and what the value is you're sending to them. Because, if they're getting an email from you every day, that they get to the point that they're not even opening it, you're not, probably the next time they open it, they're hitting that unsubscribe. Right. So as long as you're adding value, that makes a big difference. And you've got to be able to create that lead. Okay, let's go back again. An example of a child psychologist with his website, that I saw a great example for that. And his original website was what I talked about a moment ago, saying, call for your free 30-minute consultation. Mm-hmm. And it was that's a hard one to get, because I think the number of people that are actually going to call are just those ones that, need that service right that moment.
Mhm.
But you're missing out on so many others there, and you're not going to be able to create a drip campaign there. What he changed on his website was he worked with troubled kids that, they're hard for parents to deal with and whatnot. And what he changed on his website was he created some 60-second videos, and he said, fill out this information, give me your first name and email address,
Mhm.
and I'll send you a 60-second video that tells you how to address these issues. And that's how he created his drip campaign. Was It wasn't they had to physically pick up the phone, call him, and listen to a sales pitch. They were getting some valuable information that all they had to do was watch a video that was sent in their email. And then, of course, with that email, it says, if you need additional help, here's my contact information. And then his drip campaign was some additional 60-second videos that he would send out on a monthly basis.
Right.
And so, one, they were valuable. They were valuable information that these people could obtain. But two, it was set up in a way that if they weren't ready to hire him right then, they were still getting some value out of it. And then what we saw was down the road, he was getting a lot more people that, watched maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months of those videos, and then realized, these things are really helping. And I think hiring this person is going to kind of take it to the next level. And so, yeah, he was sending them out so they weren't too often, that he wasn't, spamming their inbox and driving them nuts because they couldn't keep up to everything he was sending them.
Mhm.
But also, I think one of the most important things was it was value added. It wasn't just here's another email from them. This is a great short 60-second video that really can help me with what my problem is.
Okay. Yeah. So I like what you're saying of, he knew what he had to do. And for this particular instance, he decided to do a video.
Yeah.
So during that video, kind of circles back around to what we're doing right now, that using technology, using what we all have in front of us, so our cell phones, our laptops, iPads, all of these things that we already have that we can utilize to share our content, share our information. What do you come across with a lot of business owners that don't quite understand that just yet, of utilizing what they have, of just doing a quick video, being informative, not just doing a video just because?
Yeah, I think a lot of businesses look at these a lot of these different things and don't realize the value they can add in something like that. I'm a brick and mortar company. I can't be making a video for Instagram or something like that. But really, as you see that they're starting to do more of that, they can get a lot of benefit out of it if they're creating value. And I've got a friend up in Canada that he's got an awesome business. He builds playhouses,
Hmm.
and they're the most amazing things. Um, but he he started doing that, and he's done a great job of, you know when they're because he travels all over the world to install these, mostly in North America, but literally he goes all over the world with these things. And he'll create a video just showing, oh look, this is what we're making, and it really creates some interest and some excitement behind it. And then he'll uh, do a quick video showing the installation and the fact that they've got to bring in all these cranes and stuff and get them installed, and just creating some excitement around it and adding some value, not just getting on there and say, hey, this is Jeff and this is what I do, but actually showing what he's doing and making it more valuable to those that are watching it.
Okay. Value, that is so important. I mean, even though, with everything that we're saying, uh, that one word is huge for any business. I don't care what you're doing, products, services, whatever it is. you have to have value. And if your value is not providing a solution, now you're hitting something else. So when we're talking about value and providing a solution for something, um, how do you pull that out of people when they think they have this great idea and, oh, I think it's this is wonderful, my friends say they like it. Okay, those are your friends, they could be a little biased. So how do you work with someone like that that comes to you and have this huge idea and you're like, wait, what?
That can be a real challenge, because you've got to be able to understand what your customer wants, not necessarily what you want.
Yes.
I can put myself in that situation. There was one point in Kodiak Mountain Stone that we were looking at some different options in the manufacturing process. Mm-hmm. And I looked at some options of having our stone manufactured offshore, and we started making some in Vietnam. And we had a lot of challenges with that, and we ended up bringing in a container of the product, and some of the product didn't end up being what I had envisioned and we had outlined. And there's one specific profile there that I just said, we're never going to sell that. That stuff's ugly, it's awful. Mm-hmm. But that was my opinion. And this is kind of the reverse of what you're saying, but the funny thing about it was the first product we sold out of that container. So what that told me was, it doesn't matter what I like or what my desires are. I've got to know what my end user and my customer really wants. Mm-hmm. And of course, you've got to get excited about your product and excited about what you're doing, but you've got to be able to put yourself in the minds of your end user so that you can make sure that you're creating the product or the service that they need. And it might not be the one that you personally need, that you can get it. You're excited about something that you think would be so great, but have you really looked and said, this is what the market needs right now?
Right. That's definitely a thing that we all have to look at. And I think some businesses forget about that because they're just so focused in on my passion, my business. This is a great idea. I have these things. I'm ready to go. And we forget that we have to slow down, pump the brakes a little bit, and circle back around and say, okay, what do my customer want? If I'm not selling this item, and selling doesn't mean, okay, I sold 5 of them, so wow, I'm doing great. That's not selling.
Yeah.
We can't get excited, but I get it. We get excited, oh, people's buying, but that's not gonna keep the lights on. That's not gonna sustain you. So getting excited about that can be difficult to shatter someone's dream. And but in business, it's kind of one of the things that happen. We have to be open to that and willing to take the critique from someone that's in the business, know what they're talking about, and not think, oh, well, you just don't like it. Okay, so that's your opinion. And, we get those things. So overcoming some of that and moving forward. So now that we hit a lead, we understand what drip is. So now that we got that drip going, and we had some unsubscribers, but the drip is going, and now how do we bring those leads in? So, I see on your website, about generating leads. So how do we bring those in now that we've dripped them and we've done all of these things? So what's our next step?
And I think a lot of that goes back to what we were talking about a moment ago, is making sure that we're offering value. Offering value, showing that, what your customer need is something you can provide. And so as we start to work with them and show them these things, it's got to be something that they really start to look at the things that you're offering them and the value they're getting, that they realize that they're if they're going to be able to use your product or service, there's more. And that them looking at, okay, what they've offered me for free so far
Mm-hmm.
has offered all this value, and if I actually use their product or service, I understand and I can identify how that's really going to take me to the next level. um, there's a lot of I'll use Darren Hardy for example. He has a lot of information that he offers online for free, and he's got some great stuff. He does his daily videos, all those different things that he offers, some invaluable free information. And then you'll get on his drip campaigns, and then he'll, at the end of a video, he'll talk about a course that he's offering, and you realize that the value that you're getting for free is helping you so much, but how much more can it help you to take that course and kind of go to the next level? And I think that's really what's important, is showing the customers that we're continuing to add this value for you, we're helping you, and the more you get involved with us, the more we can do that. And that's actually, whether it's a information type company or a brick and mortar type company, you've got to be able to show them that the more they work with you, the more value you can add.
Right, right. So, what value would someone have coming to Jeff Heggie and saying, I want to work with you. How can you help me? How can you help my business?
So what I really like to do is I do a number of things. I do the one-on-one coaching, and I also have a product I call my e-learning marketing system that is a online coaching. And I use that program with the people I work with one-on-one. Plus I've got clients that just use the e-learning marketing system. And, it's really something where I help them identify the areas that, whether if they're a startup,
Mm-hmm.
where we need to put some focus to, number one, leads are number one. You've got to have those leads to start bringing them in. Or if it's a company that's been in business for 20 years, where can we increase the leads? How can we, without increasing your costs, how are we going to do this? And so it's showing them the value of having a coach help them identify these opportunities that maybe they know about, but they're not identifying, or maybe that's something brand new to them that they don't understand. One of the, I've talked about it already, is websites are such a huge opportunity that we're really missing out on quite often. But there's all sorts of ways to generate more leads that a lot of people either don't understand, or they've just become used to their ways and they're not seeing those opportunities. And there's a lot of benefit for someone from an outside perspective who's done different things to help identify those things and help you see, okay, this is where you might be doing great, but if we made this one tweak, we could really take it to another level. One of the things I do well is I have a weekly mastermind group that we do a weekly call, and that's where I see a lot of value. Is a lot of different industries that are completely unrelated can help each other. Because I remember one time I was struggling with something in my stone business that I really didn't know how to take it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting in a business conference in Hawaii with a lady at the same table as me that was from the scrapbooking industry. And she talked about something that she had done in her business that really was revolutionary for her. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, that could work in my business. Like, scrapbooking and stone aren't very similar, but
you wouldn't think to connect the two.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was amazing what the things that she had done completely helped me in my stone business. And so I really like that as well, having those mastermind groups where we can brainstorm and give each other ideas that way. And stuff like this, watching a podcast like this is a great way to come up with new ideas and things that someone, again, me talking about my stone industry, might be someone in a completely different industry thinking, wow, that could work for me too. And so that's where I think coaching is invaluable, is getting an outside perspective, someone that's not right in the middle of the day to day, helping you identify those opportunities that might be right under your nose and you just don't see them.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm glad you said that. I mean, to share a little bit about what happened with me is same thing. You have that outside perspective come in, and just throughout conversations and working with them and things like that, she started, talking to me and showing me stuff. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, whatever. And me, again, being in my space, doing what I'm doing and having this outside person come in, all right, she don't understand yet, she don't get it.
Yeah.
And throughout time, working with her, I started seeing some value in, oh, wow, okay, this girl is a beast. She could do this, she could do that. And we was on the phone one morning, kind of, I don't say really coaching session or anything, but, giving me feedback and talking about some things, because I did ask the question. And she gave me her honest opinion. And you know how when you're talking to somebody, just comes over you, like you just like, oh, just, I was like, oh no, she's not. Oh, and you just want to really like go off. But it was like, of course that conversation ended. It was like, it wasn't a good note. But after a few days passed, I started to think about what she said, what was happening, what I did, and had to accept me with some of the things she said. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes that happens to us in business, but we may not get it right then and in that moment. But if we're truly honest with ourselves, it's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah. And I've had experiences with that with clients where, for client relations, sometimes it'd be so much easier just to say, hey, yeah, great idea. Yeah, go for it. Do it.
Right.
But it's like, you've got to have those hard conversations sometimes. And sometimes those conversations can get a little bit heated when you're telling someone, hey, this idea that you are so passionate about and excited about, consider these things before you step forward. Consider this and this and this. And because I know you're excited about it. And if these things all line up, yeah, it could work out great for you. Mm-hmm. But before you pull the trigger, look at these. And then I've seen a lot of times where they still can move forward with it, but if they hadn't addressed, A, B, and C ahead of time, it could have been a disaster. But I've also had clients that we've done that, and the end result was taking a completely different path because they realized, oh yeah, okay, I hadn't realized that. And even though it was an industry I wasn't really involved with outside of the coaching aspect of it, that outside perspective made a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, like, we could get heated. It will get heated. We maybe slam the phone, maybe say a few choice words. Let's just be honest. But it's if we're honest with ourselves, it may take you a week to really get it. I won't say get over it, but really get what was happening and process it. And that processing part is deep. I mean, that can just really get, wow.
Yeah.
It could get intense. So I'm thankful for that, because it did show me some things that, I needed to do. It wasn't, don't stop what you're doing, because yeah, you have a good idea, but you're not looking at this. You're not considering other people's feelings sometimes. And when you don't do that, here are some of the things that can happen. I'm not saying change you or change who you are, but just consider when you're doing certain things and how you're doing certain things. So it took a couple of days to start processing it. It took longer to go through the process, but to process what was being said and what was being shown, that I was like, okay, all right. And I think that's just a learning lesson in business, regardless of what you're doing. That's something that we have to go through. And I call them yes men. We need to stop having those yes men in our corner so
Yeah.
much to get some people that will, as we say, pull your coattail and be like, hey, hold on, let's go in private. Let's talk about this. So having those people, I think, are very important in your corner, and to continuously regenerate your network.
Yeah.
And there's times where people are meant to be in your life for a season. And when those seasons end, we have to know and understand. And it might be a season where, okay, we may be friends or whatever and hang out, but as far as business wise, that season may be over. And it could be family, friends, it could be anybody. So we have to start um, understanding that and ready to accept those. And we just have to continuously build our network. I mean, social media is out. I mean, I came across you on Instagram, so
Right.
I mean, it's working on social media and just reaching out to people. I mean, but we can't get offended by people that don't respond. And if they don't respond, oh well, that happens. But we get people, like yourself, that responded and was interested in doing this interview, and I'm truly grateful for that. But we have to be ready for those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
So, and I know you've had, like you said, you've had quite a bit of those, but having those and getting ready for those. So, I mean, this has been a great conversation. I mean, we've talked about a lot of things. So, what can we look forward to with you? I mean, we want to be sure that we're watching your videos, your coaching. What are some of the things that a business may be going through right now where, okay, I have a video for this or a book for this or anything like that?
On things that I could suggest.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so for myself, as I mentioned, I do the one-on-one coaching, and I have my e-learning marketing system. But I also try to add some free value as well. And every Wednesday I have my inner circle mastermind, and what I try to do that, because that is a membership program, but I usually will take clips from that and I post those on Instagram or in different areas. I've got a YouTube site that has it on there, and I usually try to take a couple of the clips that I think will add some good value to people, that they can watch those and get something out of. It was actually one that I did this week that got me thinking about some of the things that you were just saying. Is I talked this week about what the value is you're adding to others, and you know if there's something in a relationship that isn't going great, is it because you're not adding enough value to that relationship? And as we're going into, we're approaching the end of a year, but we're approaching the end of a decade. I'm a kid that 2020 was the Jetsons. I'm expecting to have my flying car by 2020.
Yeah, yeah. We did. We thought we was gonna be flying around. Right.
So, I've really been looking at coming into 2020 on how are we going to really hit 2020
Yeah.
on a run. And that's what I talked about this week, was what value are you adding to other people so that you're creating the relationship that we can really do that. And so I do those things. I do a weekly article at jeffheggie.com that I put an article with my thoughts and stuff on. And I just try to, through Instagram, through Facebook, different mediums, that I try to add value, because I know everyone doesn't I'm not going to be coaching everybody.
Right.
But I still, if I can add value somewhere and help somebody, and just like similar to a drip campaign, if someone starts following me on Instagram, hopefully when the time comes that they decide they need a coach or they need just a little extra, I've added enough value there that they say, you know what, maybe he's the one I reach out to and find out if he's the right fit for me or not.
Hmm.
And so that's what I try to do.
Okay. Well, I am truly grateful for you taking the time out this morning to come on and chat with us and share some of the things that you've shared. And I have this slogan that I created: change your habits, change your success. And that's one of the hardest things for us to do is our habits, because it's almost like we're glued, we're stuck to those things, and we can't, get ourselves, loosened from them. But, and that's including myself, is, looking at things that I've been doing. So I don't say anything that I think that I'm not in that bucket as well. But, we always have to look at, if I can say it to somebody else, how does that also apply to me? And I use that change your habits, change your success. And just recently, just doing things differently and talking with someone, and she was giving me ideas. I'm like, oh, do I really got to go do that? But it's we have to accept. Okay, we want to keep moving in this journey. If we want to keep, evolving, because technology is it's like it's doing this,
Yep.
and we have to be ready for it. That's where people are drawn to. So we can't keep saying, okay, well, I'm old school, I don't like to do this, or I'm old school and I still want to, carry a tablet with me with a pen and a piece of paper. Okay. You're gonna get left behind, like you say, the Jetsons. When we used to watch that cartoon, that's what we all thought. Okay, well, eventually we're gonna have all these flying cars, we're gonna be in space, we're gonna be doing all these things. So time has changed. I mean, we're not exactly flying around, but oh my God, I mean, the things that we have now. And now they're creating all these robots and all these other things, and they're using all of this technology in place of people's jobs.
Yeah.
So that in itself has to be a wake up call to so many people that, wow, they could put a computer in my place. How scary can that get? So why wouldn't you want to dig in and start figuring out some things? What are my talents? What am I gifted at? How can I grow this? How can I mold it? And just do what we have to do with it. So um doing what you do, we truly appreciate that. And having someone like you that's willing to share and have these different workshop videos, the mastermind, all of these things, that is so important for businesses today. So I'm just going to say, whether you're with a mastermind group or a coach or anything like that, have somebody that's in your corner that's not a yes man. We have to we have to get out of that. We have to stop having these yes men in our corner. And if you do, you have to question yourself, well, why? If you
Right.
have nothing bad to say, not to say I should be doing something bad, but there's some type of critique or something that somebody should say every so often, that, okay, I got too many yes men. I need to reevaluate this. I was looking at a video one time with, it wasn't a video, it was I think it was um, one of the celebrity shows where they went back on them, telling about their life, and it was Niecy Nash. And
Okay.
she was sharing on how she went through her journey with comedy, all these different movies, sitcom, all these things that she did. And she got to a certain point, and she said, well, hold on. Stuff isn't happening like I thought it should happen right now, because I've done some work. And she went back to her team, called a team meeting. They went in a room, and she said everybody at the table did her good mornings and, all of the pleasantries. And then she said, okay, well, I need to find out, what have my team been doing for me? How are you pitching me? What are you looking at? What are you going out for? Because the things that you're coming back with, it's not nothing that I want to do right now. It's not nothing where I said, this is the journey that I want to take. So if my team does not understand or know me, then it might be time for us to part ways, because that means my team is not growing with me.
Right. No, I like that. And your motto, change your habit, change your success. I think that's perfect, because you know, if we want to get different results, if we want different success in what we've got, we can't keep doing the same things.
Yeah.
And that comes down to our daily habits. It's, you know, if we want to get in shape, but we're not working out, we've got the habit of we sleep till 10 a.m.
Yeah.
we you're not going to be able to get up and go to the gym. So you've got to change those habits to change those results you want. So I love that motto. I think that's a great motto, that if you want different results, you've got to do something different. And it all comes down to the habits that you're creating for yourself. I agree with that. And going back to your comment on yes men, I mean, yeah, they can make you feel great,
Yeah.
but if you're going down the wrong path, doesn't matter how great they make you feel, you're still going down the wrong path.
Yeah. Right. Right. So tell everyone your website, your social media, how they can stay connected with you, join your mastermind, and different things you have going on.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. So my Instagram, you can find it searching Jeff Heggie, JeffHeggie, but it's actually Entrepreneur Next Door is my Instagram. And if you go through the link in the bio there, there's all the different links for the mastermind, for the coaching, for everything that's on there. And then my my page on Facebook is Jeff Heggie, and I think it's Jeff Heggie Business, but if you search Jeff Heggie, you should be able to find that page. I've got two websites. JeffHeggie.com is where you can find my blog that I write each week. Plus, it also has a link it goes under business development coaching, inner circle mastermind. There's a link there to go for the mastermind group that you can find out more about that. But jeffhaggiebusiness.com is where you can really find out more about my coaching, the e-learning marketing system. The e-learning marketing system is such a great tool for, as I mentioned earlier, whether it's a startup or a business that's been going forever. I've got some network marketers that have used it, that it's really changed their business because they get the people that are working with them that are doing it as a part-time gig for them,
Mm-hmm.
that they start using the e-learning marketing system and start looking at what they're doing as a business. And it's really changed how they operate these businesses. So they've been really valuable tools. And if you want to find out more about that, you can go to jeffhaggiebusiness.com/guided tour, and it'll take you through there. Or even just at jeffhaggiebusiness.com, on the front page, there's a place where it talks about the 4 video series that you can watch, and it's just a guided tour of, you can see what it is and how it can help you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again, Jeff. And this has been a really great conversation. So I hope people watch this over and over and over, and that they definitely get in contact with you. So thank you again for coming on to Savvy. And for everyone that's listening, I hope you're able to join us on every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central. Savvy, the business podcast. We're here every Saturday. So I look forward to talking with you, sharing with you, and hopefully continuing to put out information that can be beneficial and value to
Right.
what you're doing. So thanks again, Jeff, and you have a great day.
Thank you for having me on, and you have a great day too.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.